second big part about our group is we like to network. How many people have done deals with other people in the room? There you go. I've made good money out of the people in this room on more than one occasion. So know that there are people in here willing to work with you, willing to help you, and they want to see you succeed as much as you want to succeed yourself. So tell you what, let's start right up. I'm going to start myself. My name is Stuart Pollock. I retired out of the military about 10 years ago, and I decided that I didn't want to go back and sit in a military cubicle in a suit. So I wanted to get out and kind of do my own thing. I bought my first house in '89. I've still got it, but being a real estate investor has allowed me to kind of manage my own schedule.
Hi, everybody. We're Rod and Jen Spratley. We've been in the real estate space for almost 30 years, mostly buying home strategy. We're doing some new development as well. Class A general contractors in the area. So we're going on. We made it through 2008, which is what I like to tell people.
There you go.
It was a rough time.
Remember you? Yeah, she did. I'm Mark Matney. I have 2 office condos that are rented out as individual office space. And what I really like to do is someone who's got a good creative mind think about how to move. I want to Robert Kiyosaki it and get my money out and get into a bigger property and decide if that should be retail, more condos or into like residential. And then for other networking on Friday mornings at the Holcomb Law Firm behind Patrick Henry Mall, we have a B&I group that we love, contractors, real estate related people. And my day job is that we do money management from people who are starting out and setting up their household budget all the way to managed accounts and 401ks and retirement accounts. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Sebastian. I'm new to the real estate game, so I'm just here to network and learn from it.
Nicholas Dawson from Jersey. Got a couple properties in Philly, new to Virginia, so looking for deals down.
My name is Blake. This is my wife, Haley. We're both from Texas. She just got out of the military and also got out of the military over 2 years ago, or a year ago, and we went again into real estate. So just here to network and
Hey guys, my name is Yogi. I'm from Williamsburg and I'm a structural engineer by education and just trying to find deals, good lenders, and I'm a little bit of land development myself. So if anyone needs any help in that, I can help you guys out.
Chelsea, she would like to add Andrew, who's the long-term number. I have a foreclosure I'm fixing up that I live in, and we're just looking for contractors and deals. So I really want to play this game.
Andrew Niskovich. I do multifamily and 25 room, so roomy houses. I've done fix and flips, landlord, long-term holds, etc. Do almost anything, and I'm looking for deals, partners, connections. Want to try new projects. It's weird. I'll take a look at it and go from there.
Name is Steve Rothman, part-time real estate agents. Just here network, search my first deal.
All right, we had somebody in the back there. You got it. There we go.
Landlord, investor, and just do network and continue education.
All right, thanks, AJ. Hey, I noticed that there's a couple people in the couple crowd that aren't standing up, so that's Alan would have got all over you. I got you though. But do me a favor, still sign in so that you can use your partner's email address so you don't get 2 email addresses, if you will. But that lets me keep track of the numbers better. Okay, where we at? We got a couple back there. All right. Introduce your couple partner if you came with one.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Lloyd, full-time real estate agent, investor at night. I get my properties through house hacking, and I work with other people looking to get into the space, bringing homes, house hacks, small multifamily, buy homes, stuff like that.
everybody, I'm Caitlin. He started his own spiel though.
Hello.
I've been a short-term rental. I'm a short-term rental property manager. Most of my properties in my portfolio are midterm rentals, but I do have some short-term rentals. Most of them are on the peninsula, some in Northwood too. So, if anybody's in that space above the connect, I'm looking for more homeowners to add to my portfolio.
Hi, I'm Brody.
Hey, Brody.
Got some deals, if you like the deal though.
You got deals? You got deals? All right, good.
Deals.
Let's talk to him afterwards.
I'm Steve Kelly, I'm a landlord, and we have a couple of midterm properties as well.
My name is Narendra. I'm with him. I'm a full-time teacher, and we also, as I said, we have midterm property, and we also have long-term rentals.
Hi, I'm Janie. I am a licensed realtor, and I invest in single family, mobile homes, and
I'm Dave Hart. I'm full-time retired, thanks to real estate.
Yes.
I'm getting a little bit later, but I have some buy and hold properties up in Waynesburg, New York County, and I do a little bit of that.
And I'm Shane Brombeck, mostly Virginia, Norfolk, Portsmouth. We're landlords, have midterm, short-term, and long-term rentals. Bought properties subject to seller financing, all kinds of things. Always looking for more deals. This is my wife, Bernadette.
Hey, Bernadette.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm a real estate agent in the area. In my second year and just trying to network and meet more people. And I'm also interested in looking for my first investment, maybe a two or something like that. I'm Kim Press. I'll be talking a little later, so I'll go into more depth. But I am also the hostess.
Hostess with the mostest.
So
Thomas Asbelt. Mainly do fix and flips, looking for buy and holds. I also run the Williamsburg meetup. So anybody that doesn't know, there is one on the first Tuesday of every month in Williamsburg. It's Williamsburg Real Estate Investors Group on Facebook if you're interested.
I'm Mike with Richmond Mortgage, do all kinds of creative financing. I'll be talking a little later. Started out as a rehabber and fix and flipper and any kind of creative financing. That's what I'm here for.
Which way are we going? Let's go down here.
Hi, I'm Wayne. This is Bridget. Class A contractor. We do a residential, we look at commercial, and we flipped a couple of houses, and then we just trying to get more deals. So we're here to network and see if we can find some more deals and lenders.
Lenders too. Good.
No, we're trying to find.
Oh, you're trying to find lenders. Well, this is a good place for it.
Yeah.
I'm Senator Gregory. It's my brother Adrian McMillan. We have homes on the farm, so I know a lot of local people around the way from Hampton, Newport News, Yorktown. Family raised here since 1700s. So we pretty much know everybody, so I buy homes, flip them. Looking for some people to see if they want to buy some homes. I know a lot of people are at home. That's it.
All right.
Dominic, retired Navy, worked at the shipyard, engineer, systems engineer there. Short-term rentals, long-term rentals, looking for deals, looking for financing.
Tell you what, let's keep going all the way down, and we'll come like this.
How's everybody doing? My name is Gerald. Graduated college about a year ago. Process engineer by day at the W.M. Jordan. And I'm just looking to get into house hacking. So looking to learn new things.
Benny Miller, associate real estate broker here in Newport News, looking for fix and flips, buy and hold, also do commercial lending, but not fix and flip commercial, other stuff in commercial, church lending especially.
Good evening, I'm Darrell Gordon with Prosperity.
Were you finished?
I didn't want to interrupt you.
I'm Darryl Jordan with Prosperity Wine. We do mostly wine holds and wholesaling. I'm also the founder and host of Team Blessing Rio with Vito in Suffolk. Next Tuesday, we'll be talking about fix and flip for big properties. We're going to go through 4 examples of recent flips. One from a first-time flipper, another from a long-term flipper, and in between. I have a student we're going to present a flip for. They sold a property in December and made almost $100,000. So it is possible to make good money in this business. Great support system.
Hi, my name is Nancy. I'm a realtor. And I was an investor. I bought a house, fix and flip, and then I have property in Newport News. And I love to do a rental business better than fix and flip. So I recommend the people to spend your energy to rental. My money comes every month. I have no problem. I really enjoy it.
Mailbox money.
Marvin, let's see, I used to flip until COVID. Now I own 2 short-term rentals in Florida. I'm still looking for Florida properties to do real well. Thanks.
Tim Robinson from California, retired 9 years ago. Marvin's, I think, his last flip he had. And I don't do anything except for wait for the interest rates to go down so I can start flipping again.
There you go.
I'm still waiting.
Hi, I'm Latoya. I'm from Newport News downtown. Newport News. So I know a lot about the area. I bought and sold and flipped. And my husband is a contractor. Do Airbnb, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, rooming house. We do everything. So I have a lot of knowledge. I've been around for a while. I used to have a restaurant in the area, but last 25 years, but I don't do that anymore.
Our work. What's up, everybody? My name's Aaron. First time here. Huge, just pretty cool. I saw you guys on Meetup, so that's where I found this from.
Thanks for reminding me on that. Good. All right.
Invested just for about a year. I have the duplex. Was hoping to get more small multifamily. Thinking about single family, trying to rehab. Been having a hard time lenders, so I kind of got intrigued for tonight and trustworthy contractors. So.
Well, we got some contractors in here. Here's that idea of yours. It'll be a good one.
We've been buy and hold investors for about 20 years. We recently moved to Hampton about 3 years ago. Got some properties here, short-term, mid-term, long-term rentals. And we're looking to build the first new mixed-use building in Phoenix.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's our group. Oh, we found out about you from the other real estate investment. Over across the water.
From Trig? Was it Trig? Okay. That's another good group if you guys ever get across that way. Tidewater Real Estate Investors Group. All right, good. Nice to meet you.
I'm Eric Viafania, retired Air Force just last year. I work, my primary job is solutions engineer for a software company. Got a couple of homes that we landlord. We basically, buy a house, live in it, PCS for the military, rent it out. So one in Maryland, one in Texas. So now just pretty much bought our forever home. So we're looking to continue to, buy and hold, and then possibly some fix and flip. So here to learn because we've not done like the rehab thing. So when I say we, my wife is with me in Williamsburg on Tuesday. So we went there. Now I'm here. So yeah.
Hi,
Kip Gardner, and I'm a hard money lender, primarily focused from Richmond to Raleigh, with really a primary focus right here in Hampton Roads.
I'm Gary Carter. Looking to network. This is my first time here. I'm looking to network and eventually buy my first multifamily home. That's what it is.
All right.
Been this one. I have my own small business. Had it since 2005. Basically, labored and what have you. So I'm over it. So I'm looking to get into real estate and see where it goes. I follow a lot of stuff on social media, which may be true, maybe not. But the hardest thing for people is to find money or find lenders to do what you want to do. Some people say use your own money. Some people say don't use your own money. So it's, what do you do? So I'm just here to find out.
My name is Robin Chen. I'm a licensed realtor investing in single family homes, multi-family homes. Also looking for like group homes or assisted living, or they have a new thing. It's called sober living kind of. So let's see how that goes.
My name is Chen. Firstly, I'm looking to buy a house and look for this.
All right. Well, that's good. Meetup. How'd you guys find out about us? Meetup. Okay. So Meetup's working. Anybody, any of those Facebook things I'm trying and spending all day working? Facebook. Okay. All right. Everybody tells me Facebook is a big waste of time. I spend way too much time on it because I keep that's one of my 3 ways of letting you guys know what we got going on. So I appreciate when somebody likes what I say and shares, help me help you get the word out and bring some more people in. That really comes in handy. But I feel like sometimes I'm just come on, man, I don't want to be on here. And there's a lot of stuff on there I got no business looking at. But it's there, right? So TMI, yeah. But you go down the rabbit hole and you're like, okay. Speaking of getting your identity stolen, I was talking about it with Mike here a minute ago. I had a house for rent. I might have said it. I didn't say it last month because it was after our meeting. But be careful if you're out there running your rentals. Put your phone number, watermark your pictures, because I had somebody advertising my house for rent, collecting application fees, collected an expediting fee, and was trying to collect the first month's rent when the lady and her husband are talking and said, we just got accepted for this house. They want some more money, and we've never even been in it. Thank goodness they weren't, they didn't come after me on that. But there are some scams going on out there. Try and help the public not get scammed by people trying to take over our business and act like they're us. So everybody signed in. Thank you very much for that. Let's go to the next slide. One of the things I try to do is put out a little tidbit of information, each night or each month. Tonight, let's talk about running a business. All I'm going to say is develop key performance indicators for your business and be able to track those things. So, for example, what I'm trying to do since about November, October, is I'm trying to find out where my messaging is getting picked up. Is it Facebook? Is it Meetup? Is it here? Is it there? So you'll see my links are short, tiny URLs or something, but that's just something, that's the way I can track who's clicking on what, and I can see which one of my social media things is working. But that's really good for you and your business. Any business you're running, think about your key performance indicators and how you're going to measure it to know if what you're doing is worth the effort you're putting into it. And I would tell you the one thing I'm going to go back on, we had a discussion last month about Real Estate Investing 101, and I ended it with measuring your net worth. So, what is my net worth? How am I doing this year? How am I doing this year versus last year? On our Facebook page, on our Facebook group, there is a place where I can hold files and share it with you guys. And so I've got a file in there to measure your net worth. Just fill in the block, add some. It's very generic. You may have other things that are worth money you can put in that are not on my list. But I recommend you do it every year. At the end of the year, this is what my net worth was at this year. And then at the end of next year, what is my net worth? And then so you can kind of track your trends to make sure that your trend is up and your trend is not down. Because if your trend is down, then you're probably spending too much money or you're spending it in the wrong place. But that's you. That's how you run your business. Any way you want to do it, see fit. I don't want to get into that business on your side, but it will help you to figure those things out. Now, I'm real excited about what we've got coming next month. Those of you that want to get into flipping houses, I'm bringing in one of the nation's leading speakers on rehabbing houses. Go to the next slide. Her name's Robin Thompson. She's coming out of Florida. She's flipped over 300 houses. She's been talking and teaching students for at least 15 years. She has a good program. If you've ever been to somebody who is a guru, if you will, 90% of the time they talk to you, they're going to give you up to here and then try to sell you on the rest of it. She's got 100% good information coming in when she talks to you. Very useful information. Almost everything she says is useful. So I encourage you to come on our Thursday night, which is the 14th of March. We're also going to have the Saturday afterwards, we're going to have a full day workshop. The full day workshop is $97 to help pay for the room and other expenses. But if you get in there early, and I think early is going to be a week beforehand, I'll say it now, it's going to be a week beforehand. I'm going to drop it down to $77, but that's a full day with Robin. And again, I've still got my notebook. And the first class I went to with her, I had a notebook. I wrote it down. It's when I was first into the rehabbing side, and I would break that notebook out a lot and help me kind of work through problems and try to figure out whether this house was a good deal or not. She's going to tell you how to find houses, how to find motivated sellers. She's going to tell you how to wholesale, because wholesaling is it keeps your flipping business running. And the way I used it is to use my flips to buy rentals. The rentals is the long-term money. The flips are just cash to buy me stuff. You had something you want to jump in on?
I went to her boot camp with Stu back in October, and I was blown away how generous she is.
She's the most generous person ever.
She gives and gives.
Yes.
So if you want to learn, she's the person to go to.
She really is.
I've seen her speak over the last 20 years. I've seen her speak probably 3 or 4 times. But this is the first time I went to her boot camp in October, and it was
right.
Excellent.
Right.
Very impressed.
And impressed with the amount of the generosity that she has with her, just her outlook in life and when she's talking with you and everything that she does. Okay, so next slide. This is Robin, and then this is our workshop. If you'd like to come, again, it's an all-day workshop. It will not be here. I've got a room on Regal Way. I think it's in the Hampton Inn. It's on the meetup page. I don't want to send you to the wrong place. So when you sign up at Meetup, it'll tell you, make sure you're in the right spot. Okay, next slide. All right, so Meetup, if you haven't been to the Meetup site, there's a QR code. I can get that for you in a little bit. Next one, just reminding you. And then we got a Facebook group, just reminding you on it. I'm seeing phones out, so just thank you very much. The next one, I want to thank the volunteers, Kim, Scott. You guys are helping me out a lot every day. It's making the group better with everything that you guys do. If you have a deal, make sure it's one that you can legally market. In other words, you have equitable interest in it. You're not marketing somebody else's property. Okay, this is not a find a house on the MLS and come in here and say you got a wholesale deal and then get somebody to nibble on it and then try and work it out. So just make sure you got equitable interest in those things. Next one. Next one. and you get a 3-for-1 tonight. We got Mike Crumbine coming in. He's a hard money lender. Dave Hart, he's a private money lender. Kim Kress with Movement Mortgage. Kim, come on up. I'll let you take it from here. I'm going to ask one more question. Can you guys hear us a little better than you have in the past? Is my little speaker working? I mean, we brought that box 8 times and never quite got it working. Now, the only problem is I've got 2 microphones and 3 speakers. So I'll let you figure out where you want to put that.
Oh, right. You don't want to pin it on me?
We'll get the other microphone going. I'm going to step out the back of the room. It's all yours, Kim.
Okay, great.
And make sure those guys aren't banging around them dishes like they're doing.
All right. So I am Kim Kress. I am with Movement Mortgage. So I do mortgage lending. I have a whole lot of different products. I don't do anything that has to do with hard money. So if you're trying to do a less than 12-month project, I can't help. That's what Mike and Dave are for. But I just kind of put together a few questions and then I'll go through the answers. And if you guys have questions as I go, just let me know. So the different products that I have quite a bit. I can do all the regular stuff, conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, down payment assistance, but I can also do refinance. So rate and term refinance, cash out refinance if you need to get cash out, home equity line of credit, which can go in the first position or the second position. So if you don't have a mortgage, you can do a home equity line of credit on your house. Also, it can go in the first position. So lots of different options. And the other one I have is debt service. Some of you know what debt service is. It's where you're buying the house just to rent it out. So we're only qualifying the property based on the amount of rental income that you're bringing in. So you do have to credit qualify, but you don't have to income qualify as long as your rent exceeds the mortgage payment. So a lot of different programs, renovation on a primary house, a second home, investment property. So if you want to buy it, fix it, rent it out, you can do that. So I've got quite a bit of programs. LLC, we don't require that you have an LLC. Usually Fix and Flip is going to want you to have LLC. We don't require it. You can't close in an LLC on conventional USDA, FHA, VA, the regular stuff. But if you do want to close in an LLC on the debt service, you can do that. A lot of people like that because they want their investment properties in their LLC name. So you can do that. And as far as credit score requirements go, on a VA loan, there are no credit score requirements. A lot of times you'll hear people say 600 minimum. That's an overlay. At Movement, I don't have any overlays. So whatever the guideline is, I can write straight to the guideline. So if you're doing a VA purchase, you're going to live in it, there's no credit score requirement. FHA, I can go as low as a 580 credit score. And everything else, USDA, conventional, 620 or higher. The debt service loans that we have, 620 or higher also. And then we don't require any experience. So sometimes if you're doing different loan products, your fix flip, maybe they want you to have experience. We don't require it. So if you're a first-time investor, you can still buy. And then, of course, if you're living in it, you're living in it. So you don't have to have experience. All right. And then the properties that we can finance, we do everything from single family home, condo, 1 unit, 1 to 4 units. So we can go up to 4 units, condos, but no commercial. I don't do anything commercial. I do have a member on the Movement Bank side that can do commercials. So if you need a point in the right direction, I can refer you over there, but no commercial on my side. All right, so as far as loan to value goes, how much down payment you have to put down. If you're purchasing and you're using a VA loan, you don't have to put any money down. So anybody that's current or previous military can go no money down. If you are going to live in it, you can also go USDA with no money down, down payment assistance programs with no money down. Second home, if it's going to be a second home and you can occupy it up to 2 weeks a year, you don't have to, but as long as you have the availability, you can go 10% down on those. And if you're going to go debt service or investment property purchase, you're looking 15 to 20% down minimum. All right, so I bet everybody's wondering, what are the rates? All right, so if you're looking at a primary home, rates have gotten much better in the last couple weeks. We're down into like the low sixes. Just back in December, we were at like 7.5. So we've had a significant rate reduction in the last few weeks, which is what we've been waiting for. So we're down in the low sixes if it's a primary home. If you're doing a second home or investment property, you're probably looking 8, mid-8s, somewhere in there. If you're going for debt service, that's going to put you upper 9s. So you want to kind of keep that in mind when you're running your numbers on what you're going to do. As far as loan terms, we do everything from 15, 20 year, 30 year. So we have pretty much all the different loan terms. All right. So just to kind of give you an example of the different programs, let's say you have your primary and you need to get cash out to do a down payment to buy an investment property. You can either do a cash out refinance. A lot of people don't like those right now, though, because they have those really nice 3-4% interest rates. So if you don't want to go that route, you can do a home equity line of credit, which will give you a line of credit to pull from to do the down payment if you want to do investment property. You can also all right, so if you want to house hack, I heard a couple people say house hack. If you're going to live in the house, you can buy up to 4plex with as little as like 3.5% down. So that's another option that you could look at if you're like a first-time investor. If you're looking at BRRRR, you want to buy, fix, rent, repeat, renovation loan will work for that. You can have one loan to buy the house, fix the house, all under one loan, set one time, no second set of closing costs, nothing like that. So that's another option. All right, and that wraps it up for me. Any questions?
What's your rate on your HELOC?
So I meant to glance at that before I left. Somewhere between 10 and 14%, I believe.
Okay, and what's your LTV on your DSCR loan?
So on DSCR, you need at least 20% down.
You guys have like the 5-4-3-2-1 thing, or you pay like you have to stay in that loan for like so many years? Or like if I got a DSCR loan with y'all, I can like refinance the next year without a penalty.
Some of them have a penalty and some don't. The ones I've been using lately don't have a penalty. Yeah. Yeah. Brody, and then you.
For the debt service, for the rental income, is that only for monthly leases? Or can that be for?
That's a good question. I have several different ones. So I could check and look and see. You mean like it doesn't have a lease. So if it doesn't have a lease agreement, a lot of times they want you to get one. Just give me a lease agreement.
I see what you're saying there. Make it happen.
All right.
So for the multi-family, if you have a VA, do you still have to put everything down?
No. If you're VA eligible, you can do up to a fourplex with no down payment. Those are an excellent way for a first-time person to get into a property and start getting their rent rolls going. And they usually want you to live in that unit for 12 months. After that, you're free to go do whatever you need to do. It's not a hard rule though. So let's say you got deployed somewhere else in 6 months, you're free to move as long as it makes sense. You just wouldn't want to go buy the neighbor's house the month after you buy your fourplex. Andrew.
What do you have for non-warrantable condos and houses?
20% down.
What
Yeah.
was the question? What do you have for
Sorry.
non-warrantable?
Let's explain what non-warrantable is.
Actually, okay, so non-warrantable, you can actually go as little as 5% down. It doesn't have to be 20% down. So there's a few neighborhoods in Newport News and Hampton I'm familiar with where their condos are considered non-warrantable, which means they have a high investor concentration. Lots of investors rent the units out and they don't have enough owner occupants living there. So they're called non-warrantable. Hampton Club is one of them. What's that neighborhood down in Newport News, all the way down Jefferson? No, Courthouse is not actually non-warrantable. They are warrantable, which is amazing. It's yeah. Those are non-warrantable. They actually have a lawsuit pending. I believe that's the one. But yes, I can actually work around lawsuits too. So if you're buying out where there's a condo and there's a lawsuit on there, sometimes I can work around that too. But yes, so non-warrantable, at least 5% down. Most I've seen, they pushed back and asked for a 10% down payment.
Do you do HELOCs on investment property?
Yes.
And what's the LTV?
I think it goes to 75 loan to value, I believe. Yep, so 75% of what the house is worth. I could look it up for you, but that's just off the top of my head.
And the rates are like the same or?
They're going to be a tad bit higher, probably on that higher 14% range. But you can do your HELOC for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years. So you can span it out over a longer time.
Is your HELOC on an investment property a line of credit, or is it just cash out?
Okay, so my HELOC is kind of different. It is fixed. A lot of HELOCs will be variable interest rate. So it'll start at whatever the rate is today, and if rates go up tomorrow, it goes up too. If they go down, it goes down too. Mine's not like that. You've got, say you've got a $40,000 line of credit. It's going to be a fixed principal and interest payment every month for however long it takes you to pay that off. It could be 5-year, you can choose 10, 15, 30-year loan, whichever option you choose. You can pay it off faster, but once you pay it off, it's reusable. So it's kind of like a fixed payment, but it is reusable, which is slightly different than most of the banks.
The renovation loan that you mentioned, is that tied to like residency as well? So like a house type of deal?
Yes.
Okay.
So I can do renovation loans. The caveat, you do have to use a Class A contractor, but it can be on owner occupant, second home, or investment property. So I can do pretty much anything on the renovation side. So if you want to buy it, fix it, and then rent it out, you can do that. Marvin.
I just want to praise her. She gave me my refi on my second house in Florida. And then I just did a HELOC because I needed a young roof on that house. And she took care of that too. So she's an excellent thing.
You can do it in Florida too?
Yes. So I'm licensed in all 50 states. So yes, I can do anywhere that you have a house. Yes.
Do you have any products for cooperatives?
Co-ops, yes. Those I don't know off the back of my head though. You'd have to call me on that one. But yes, I can do co-ops too. ITINs, bank statements, almost everything. Some new construction, so I can do quite a bit. I see somebody over here.
Can you do rehab with the VA?
Yes, but it's a limited rehab. So you can go up to $35,000 VA renovation. So, and it can't be anything structural. So it's got to be like, I want to update the kitchen, or I want to replace the floors. It needs new paint. I want a new deck. I want a fence. Anything like that, up to $35,000 you can do on a VA loan. I actually did one of those recently. They just wanted to fix the porch and put in a fence. So we did it all on one VA loan.
Can you speak to the new construction piece?
You'd have to call me on that one separately. I do have a couple of new construction products though, where you can buy and build. I have, it's kind of like it's similar to a private money loan for if you're a builder. You'd have to ask me that off to the side though. I didn't really look at that loan, but I do have something if you're looking for private money and you're a builder.
What kind of a coverage ratio are you looking for on a debt service?
So it needs to be more than your mortgage payment. So if you're gonna rent it out for $1,600, your mortgage payment's got to be less than $1,600. So one. Yep. All right. Any other questions? All right. I do have some flyers, so I'll leave them up here for you. I probably can't talk at the end, but if you have questions, just give me a shout. I'll be happy to help. I'm also an investor. So I do a lot of like forward planning, especially for my self-employment people. So feel free to run your ideas by me. I'd be happy to help. All right, Mike.
All right. You want me to take your mic?
Yes.
Mic on the mic. Okay, the name of my company is Richmond Mortgage, and we're up in Richmond. We lend throughout Virginia and starting to do a little bit of out of state. But what we're good for, some people call it, we're private money, hard money. We're good for that very quick decision. So if you put an application, our 5-minute application at richmondmortgage.com, we're going to get back to you probably within an hour, maybe that afternoon. And so you can get a proof of funds letter. We're going to contact you and say, we like this deal. We're not going to look at your credit. We're not going to look at your bank statement. It's a no-doc process. We're going to look at the property, how good a value, you're getting that for. We're going to look at your rehab. We're going to look at your experience. And then we're going to say, yeah, we're going to do that deal. And the question is, well, if you got a lot of experience, you don't need much money down, maybe nothing down. If you're very new, depends on how complicated the rehab is. So sometimes I get people who come in and they want to rehab a 100-year-old house. It's total gut, and they never done this before, and that just doesn't work. Wish it would. You can make money doing that, but it's not for a beginner. We do fix and flip. We love new construction. Sort of an automatic approval is if you have a building lot and you put in a foundation, that's an automatic approval just about every time. It's we finance from the sill plate on up. So you put your foundation in, and you're always going to get approved. I don't think I've ever found one where it just wouldn't work. Sometimes we'll do the full financing, including the foundation. We're not going to do 100% where we finance the lot and the building. So you'll need your down payment essentially will be your building lot. We do a lot of creative financing. So an example, I've had numerous builders where they know the lot seller, and so the lot seller will partner with the builder, or the lot seller will take $10,000 down from the builder and say, okay, give me another $30,000 when you sell the house. And they let us put on
a first deed of trust. So it's a good way for the builder to get in with little money down, and all he'll do is he'll put in the foundation, and boom, we're off to the races. Anything selling, particularly with new construction, and I've got one builder probably going to do 20 houses this year, and he builds these starter homes, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 1,300 square feet, sells them for $325, and they just fly off the market. You know, you'd think interest rates are too high, but people can afford it. You know, you look at your income versus their payment on something like that, and it all works. And so when he can find the building lots, it just all works. Sometimes another creative financing is we'll do a zero down where you have additional collateral. So somebody comes to me with a paid for rental house, or a rental house that has a lot of equity in it. They say, well, you know, I just don't have a lot of money to put down right now. And we say, no problem, put up your rental house and we'll put a lien on the property you're buying and give you the money to buy it and the money to renovate it. And we'll have a lien on both properties, and then release it when you sell the property, or you turn around and refinance out of your property. We do require you use an LLC, but it's easy to form those in a day or two with a lawyer for a couple $100. We don't.
Why do you want an LLC?
We want an LLC to. It's part of the process that we don't do owner-occupied properties. So there's a whole different set of laws if you're going to lend to somebody that lives in it. And by putting your property in LLC, you're saying, and you sign a statement in our documents that says, you're not going to live in this property. This is a commercial transaction. We're lending to another corporation. We're not, the loan is not to you. It's to the corporation. And so, yes, you're going to sign to guarantee it. And I've never had to prosecute anybody on the guarantee. Everybody, we work something out, even when you get into trouble. But that's why we want an LLC, legal reasons. You don't have to have experience. You just need to have a good deal. That's what we care about. You don't have to have income to qualify. We just want a good deal. We'll finance basically any kind of property that makes sense. So we'll go up to about $500,000. I'm going to talk to you about bigger loans with essentially another part of our business. But right now, what I'm talking about is money that I control directly that comes out of our coffers. Our loan to value, we go up to 70% of the after repair value. So if something's going to sell for, say, 150, 70% of 150 is about 100. So we're going to go up to about 100 on property like that. If we're still going to sell for 200, 70% of 200 is 140. Most we're going to lend is up to 140. So you add your purchase price, you rehab together, and subtract your down payment. If that comes out to 70% or less of the after repair value, you got a deal. We're going to find a way to put that together because that's a good deal. If you've got a 30% margin, 20, 30% there, you're going to make some money. Our interest rates sort of vary based upon the size of the deal and if you have experience or not. And it goes anywhere from, say, 8.5 to 12.5. But most of our deals right now are sort of running 10.5 to 11.5. They're 9-month loans, interest only. Sometimes we have no payment loans, and all the interest just accumulates and you pay it off at the end. Typically, somebody I've never worked with, down payment's 10% of the, add the purchase and the rehab together and multiply by 10%. That's typically your down payment for somebody I've never worked with. So to start the conversation with us, you go to our website, richmondmortgage.com, and you just click on the 5-minute loan app, and it'll ask you, is it rehab or new construction? And you just fill that out. It's just going to ask you for your name, where's the property located, what are you buying it for, what's your down payment, what's your rehab budget? And you click send at the bottom. I get it, or Lisa gets it, and one of us will call you and we'll say, this is how much you're willing to lend. This is what your monthly payments will be. This is what it's going to cost you. And we're ready to close. So we close really quick with 3 days from whenever your closing agent sends our attorney the lender's title commitment. So it's not really up to your lender to sort of make that closing happen quickly if that's what you need. And in a lot of markets, a good deal doesn't last long. So you do need, a lot of times you have to the thing that'll get you a deal is you can close quickly. So for bigger deals, I have a hedge fund that we partner with, and they do all kinds of commercial and debt service coverage ratio loans, and you just have to fill out an application, put it in their hopper, and see what they come back with. But they have a variety of products, everything from 30-year fixed on commercial to interest only, short term, and that's sort of a whole nother little section of our business. What kind of questions do I have? Yes, ma'am.
On the new construction, can you walk us through it? So we have the lot, we put the foundation, reach out to you. When do we get the first draw? What does that look like? Do we get that at closing? Do we get that after we frame the house up? What happens?
Depending on the value of the land, and you might get a draw at the beginning. If not, you would get a draw after you do your framing. So you do the framing. You would need to have enough money to pay your framing labor, say $15,000. You'd send us a picture and an inspection from the county that says, oh yeah, this passed inspection. And then we'd wire you the money, that $15,000 directly to your account, because the contractor says, yeah, I've been paid and here's my lien waiver. So we pay that same day, very quick. So I have a fairly high volume rehabber. And the reason he uses us is because we pay so quick. I mean, pay the day you put that in, you're going to get the money that day, your request for your money that day or the next. Whereas if he uses some other people, they take a week or two and they got to come out and send an inspector. 95% of our construction draws or rehab draws, pictures are fine. And so that's how, so we build the house right on with you. You decide how many draws you want and how often you want them. There's no charge if we use pictures. If you have to send an inspector, that inspector charges $135 to come out and look at it. But on new construction, you already got the county inspecting for us. So, the lumber package is expensive, but if you have an account with, say, 84 Lumber and they'll let you put it on your account, well, then, we can pay them directly. 84 Lumber will wire them the money if necessary. But if they'll put it on your account and then let you install it, then, you're good to go. Any other questions about new construction on that? So it goes very quick. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so just to piggyback off our 2 questions. New construction, right? So the foundation is down and you do the framing and you drive in. You have to get your 2 trade inspections first, which is electrical and plumbing, before framing. So bear that in mind. Because you're spending money for the framing, but you can't request that draw before the inspection. Right?
Oh, you're saying the inspector won't give you a passing inspection
on your framing, like you
on your framing?
Without the electrical and plumbing.
Right, that's correct. But because they want to see if you cut a hole, if your contractor cut a hole through the support beam and really screwed up the support. So you're correct. but we will pay part of the labor on that. And then as soon as well, we may pay for all of the labor, but we might not pay for all the material until the inspector comes out and says, okay, you've passed, because they want to see the rough end plumbing and the rough end electrical didn't destroy any of the integrity of the house. So we'll work with you on that. We just want to see that lumber got put up before we pay for it.
All right, my next question is now with rehab, right? You say it's a 9-month loan. Do you give any time for permits?
Once you close on the property, your interest starts ticking. So no, the answer is no. So you need to line that up, and there are several ways maybe to get around it, because filing for permits for rehab will eat up a lot of time, because the cities and counties, they don't care. They just take their time, and they'll give you a hard time about this or that. And so I have seen some people will enter into a contract. They'll enter into a contract with this seller that says, their contractor can apply for a permit to be issued in the existing owner's name. And then when they close, they'll have that permit transferred over to the new buyer. I don't know if you ever seen that. Yeah. So that way, before you close, the building permit for rehab has been issued, and you don't have to wait 3 months or 45 days to get your permit. And they, I've seen all kinds of oddball things where the city, particularly Norfolk, will hold you up, and for oddball reasons. So,
Do you, what if you can't complete the project in 9 months?
If you can't complete in 9 months, we will extend you 3 month in 3-month increments. It needs to be a logical reason, not because you decided to go to Bahamas on a cocaine binge or something. So there's got to be. So you're out, Chris. Right. So it's got to be a valid reason. But as long as you keep paying us each month, we're kind of happy. It's but sometimes things do run over, and you just have to extend. It happens.
How much do you charge for that?
There's no charge, no additional charge. You just got to keep paying. You just got to keep paying your interest. Interest only payments, usually every month.
You can, and on your interest only payments, you can do it in 2 months or 6 months.
Oh, you can pay off at any time. There's no penalty. Yes, sir.
In the case that the 3-month extension, I might have missed it. What is the penalty there, right?
There is no penalty.
Oh, there is none.
No, you just have to keep paying.
Gotcha.
Don't get to the 7th, 8th month, 9th month and stop and say, I'm not going to pay this month because I'm short cash, and then say, I'd like an extension also. It's not going to sit well with us. But if you're up to date on all your payments, we're kind of happy.
You pay points as well.
Yeah, you pay points on the back end, and they like all lenders, you charge points, right? And so they vary based upon how long you're going to use the money. And so we discuss that with you when you put the application in, the amount of the loan. We go, this is what it's going to be, so you can see your full cost.
What's the average like on points right now?
Oh gosh, it can vary greatly. Okay. Any last questions? If not, we'll get Dave up here, who's a great private lender. Oh yeah. Okay, Dave.
Thank you, sir. So I'd like to say I'm in the middle of these two, but I'm really not. These guys do big dollars, big volume. I am a personal / private lender. So I loan to people, for the most part, that I know. And largely they've been sort of from this group. My pool of money is limited. So I can't, if you call me all the time, I may have money, I may not have money, right? So it sounds like I'm sort of downplaying this thing, but let me get a little philosophical on why I do this now. Because there's a lot of knowledge in this room. I have a small portfolio of properties that I self-manage, all right? I'm retired military, and I did some smart investing earlier in my career. So one of the things I say in real estate is, why are you doing real estate, right? What's the point? You can make a ton of money in real estate, but how much do you need? Because real estate for me now is about time, right? These are my parents, made it to 80. I'm just about to hit 60. I've been retired for a couple of years already. So real estate bought me time, okay? Now, real estate can also cost you a lot of time if you're doing fixes and flips and that kind of thing. I don't want to do that. I did that. Quite frankly, I wasn't that great at fixing and flipped. I think buy and hold is the way to long-term wealth, okay? And I'm at the point in my career where I don't want to be swinging a hammer. I still deal with tenants. I like that. It also allows me to keep my professional real estate status. But, you know, you're a professional in the business, which is good for taxes, right? So there's a lot of reasons I sort of do what I do. Now, people will call me and say, what are your rates? I'm like, I don't know. What's your deal, right? And do I know you? And, you know, I even heard Mike say that it depends, right? So I come from a military background. I was also an academic for a long time. I have a doctorate. My doctorate was in this thing called management consulting, right? What's a consultant's favorite word? You ask him a question. What does a consultant say? It depends. Tell me more about that, right? So that's what happens. People call me, well, what's your rate? What's your rate? I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know your deal. Let's get to know each other, and then we can figure out something that's going to be mutually beneficial. And that's the way I look at this. I want to do business with people where we both win, and you're going to come back and we're both going to want to do it again. All right? You got a fair deal. I got a fair deal. We didn't waste each other's time. You delivered. I delivered. Let's rinse and repeat. Okay? That's what I do. I'm probably limited to about $300,000. But I'll go pretty low, right? You need 10 grand? I can get you 10 grand. Okay? Everything I do goes through a lawyer. I use David Odie up in Williamsburg. So he writes all the paperwork. You pay for the paperwork. He knows what I'm doing. So he tries to keep, because it's good for him too. He wants, you know, I want Dave Hart to be doing more deals because Dave Hart keeps coming back to me. If there are draws involved, he holds the money. That money gets released. Okay? When does the money get released? We're gonna negotiate that, what that looks like. All right. Mike does what he calls. I saw another presentation. And full disclosure, I am an investor with Mike. Mike has a pool. I've invested money with Mike. He invests that money, makes more money, and he gives me a little something every quarter, right? And I love it. It works out great. Where was I going with that? I'm not quite sure. But other than to tell Mike that I'm an investor with Mike and I like it, right? Somebody calls me. Everything goes through the lawyer. I said that. Draws. I will go to your property. Oh, I know where I went now. Mike does something he says he does asset-based lending. I've heard him use that term before, right? I also sort of do asset-based lending. And I won't lend money on anything that I don't think I could flip or fix and sell. But the reality is, I don't want your property. I want your interest payments, right? I don't want to get involved in your property, right? And when I work the numbers, my numbers are going to be probably more conservative than yours, all right? What I think it's going to cost to flip that property and sell it, and the time involved in that kind of thing, I'm going to be more conservative, all right? And you may look at it and go, oh, I can do it much quicker than that. Okay, let's do a 3-month loan, okay? 3-month loan, 2%. You like that? 3-month hold, minimum. If you go longer, I'm still getting 2%, right? And mine is all interest only, okay? I have somebody that I made a loan with. He thought he was going to do a 3-month loan. We did 2%. We're getting close to a year. All right. We've had lots of conversations on that. Like, hey, you're going to be okay. If you want to finance out of this, I understand. That's okay. My goal is not to put a hurt on you and me make the money. That's not what I want to do. I want him to be successful so that I can be successful. All right. I'm also investing with my retirement. The money I'm lending to you comes out of my solo 401k. All right. So I have a vested interest in you being successful. I also want you to have some skin in the game. All right. My LTV is about the same as what other people are talking about, 65, 75%. And it's going to vary. I loan to some people. I've given a lot more because I've done deal with them before. If you're new, this is the reality, okay? If you're new, you're higher risk. What does higher risk mean? Higher cost, right? There's a risk and reward ratio here. My job is to mitigate risk to make sure, one, I get my principal back, two, you make good on your payments, and three, the deal gets done, right? For you to fault and have a problem, not good for me, not good for you. And I think Mike said that he'll work with you, right? I'll work with you too, but I'm going to make sure that the deal is solid before I hand over any of my money, right? I'm going to go walk the property with you. When you think you're ready for draws, if it's close by, which most of the time I lend on stuff that's close by, we're going to go walk the property, all right? What was the other thing I had? How do I do the draws? Again, we negotiate what that's going to look like. Depends on the project, right? So if it's a gut job and we're taking things down to studs, there's going to be a lot more detail in the draw. But if it's lipstick, carpet, and paint, that kind of thing, that's going to be a lot simpler. So again, people have called me. I think people in this room have called me and said, what's your rate? How many points? I don't know. It depends, right? So it depends on the deal. And I understand you need something finite to go to whoever when you're talking about the deal. But I just can't give you something finite. Now, I can tell you the rate's probably going to be between 10 and 14%. Okay, Mike.
I think one of the reasons you use Dave or me is less hassle. You're dealing direct with the decision maker. So I talked to somebody earlier in the day. They dealt with another out-of-town mortgage company, and he said they were just too much of a hassle. And he didn't go into the details, but I can imagine because I've heard this story multiple times. And when you're dealing direct with the decision maker, we make it easy. That's our goal, and that's Dave's goal.
Yeah, my money, my decision. That's the bottom line, right?
I wouldn't worry as much about interest rates. If you're just shopping interest rates, I mean, you can get a lot lower interest rates, but there's always a problem. The lowest rate is not always the lowest rate, and also the hassles involved in these low rate lenders can be a problem.
Yep. And I will tell you, Mike can do it a lot faster than I can. All right. I'm not 5 days or whatever he says. I'm not going to be that long. I am investing in you. Think of it that way, right? I'm investing in your deal, but I'm also investing in you because I want you to succeed and I want you to come back and borrow money again. Okay. Questions? Yeah.
How long will you lend?
Again, I'm going to put on my PhD hat, my doctor hat. It depends. Depends on the deal. But I'll do anything I've done from 3 months. My minimum is usually 3 months. If I don't hold it at least 3 months, it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it, and it's probably not worth the time and cost of the paperwork. But I'll go. I try not to do anything longer than a year. All right. Normally, we're shooting for 6 months, and why I say that is if you can't find the right property, fix it, and flip it within 6 months, we're probably doing something wrong. All right. And if you can get it done in that time frame, it's going to be profitable for you and good for me. At the same time, I have this thing that's 2% a month. I talk to this person on a regular basis. Hey, are you still okay? Because I don't want to put you in a hurt, right? I'm still okay. I can't, this is still working for me. Okay. And Mike said this, as long as you're making your payments to me, I'm good. And as I think that project's going to get done. Interest payments are great, but eventually I need my principal back, right? So yes, keep making the interest payments, but I want my principal back. What does that look like? What's the rate, money up front versus money on the back end versus rate structure? it depends. It can be a fixed rate for a period of time. And then after 6 months, I sometimes build in an escalation thing where the interest rate goes up a bit. And that's really designed to give you an incentive to get the deal done, get it sold, and everybody's good again and we're ready to go, right? We can recycle. Don't necessarily want certain projects dragging out for a long period of time. I need to know that the deal can get done. Now, I have cards and people are going to probably say, all right, my phone's probably going to be ringing this week. That's good. But I'm probably not the guy for your first project. All right. Now I do say I'm investing in you. I will, if we're going to do a deal together, we're probably going to go get coffee. We're probably going to talk about some things, right? I want to know a little bit about you because I'm investing in you with my money. And I want to make sure my money is coming back to me, right? And you're going to be successful. What else? Nothing? Yeah, Kim.
So you would rather them bring their deal to you and explain it, and then you can kind of create terms from there?
Yes. I need to, yeah, like how big is the deal or how big is the project? Where is the project, right? I told you before, I don't want to do your project, but I won't take on a deal that I don't think I can do myself, right? Or in an area that I would necessarily invest in myself. So parts of downtown Newport News, probably not doing that, all right? My focus is up in Williamsburg, James City County. I've done some stuff up in Gloucester, that kind of thing, all right? 3-2, multifamily, small multifamily still works, provided the numbers work, okay? Yeah, Kim.
What type of property? Single family?
Yeah, single family, small multifamily, duplex, triplex, maybe a fourplex. I probably won't go any bigger than that because then the scope sort of gets a little hard, unless you're somebody that's done just a bunch of deals. Let me see. I had some other notes here. Does anybody know Warren Buffett's 2 rules of investing? First rule is don't lose money. What's the second rule? Rule number 1. Remember rule number 1, don't lose money, right? So we can pretty much boil it down to that. We want to do something where we're both going to make money. We both feel like we're being treated fairly. It's mutually beneficial, and we're going to want to do it again. Okay? So for me, it's going to be a more personal type of relationship than you're probably going to have with Kim or Mike. All right? Both wonderful people, and you would have great relationships with them, but I want to get to know you because I really feel like I'm investing in you and investing in your deal. Okay? No questions. That's it. All right. I do have cards and would be happy to talk to anybody. Yeah, question. Coast Guard. Yep. Thank you. All right. Thanks. Oh, yeah.
All right. Thanks very much for that. Hey, now it's time to begin the networking. So stick around, talk to your buddies. Who's buyers? Raise your hand if you're looking to buy something tonight. Okay. Raise your hand if you got some money. All right. Raise your hand if you got deals that you're trying to sell. Okay. So what you got, Brody, real quick?
We've got a 3-1 here in Hampton. We've got one in Norfolk on the Viney Ridge. I got to look at the spreadsheet for the rest. I apologize.
Okay. No, that's good. You got something you're looking to sell?
3-2 Williamsburg.
3-2 Williamsburg.
5-3 Yorktown.
5-3 Yorktown.
I got a small one.
And a small one in Hampton. You raised your hand? You got something you're selling?
I did. It's actually not my own though, so I was like.
Okay. All right. Okay, so there we go. If you're looking to buy, there's 3 people to talk to. Thanks for coming tonight. Hey, don't forget, March, we're going to have a good night. March, it's going to be good. And don't forget, if you haven't signed in, do me a favor and sign in. Thank you very much. This actually worked well this time. We figured it out after I spent $350. I'm wondering if I haven't picked it up yet. I'm wondering if I want to actually